right, we back on Still Talking YouTube, baby. Todd, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Rob. How about yourself?
Great, man. Let's get right into it, man. The Steelers are getting themselves back in a position to add to one of these trophies you see behind me.
Yes, we are one step closer to relevancy.
Yes, depending on how the season go, I think we're gonna be relevant this season, regardless.
Certainly, and I felt like even though the season did not go the way we wanted last year with all this up and down, obviously we became somewhat relevant at the tail end of the season. But it was just too little too late.
Right. So what do you think? Khan is doing it, man. Khan and Andy Weddle. To me, they only made one mistake. And now, on hindsight, it's not a mistake. When they let Cam Sutton go, I thought that was a mistake.
Right.
But the way the draft played out and the way we did things since then, that wasn't a mistake. That was a plan. Right?
I mean, yeah, because as we always know, they have a main plan, a plan A, but there is always at least one, if not two plans behind that in case it doesn't go the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel like the whole Cam Sutton thing went, Rob. I do think they wanted him to come back, but they had a value in mind. And once they knew it would exceed that, they just stepped back and let him do what he needed to do. They weren't going to, get into a bidding situation with Detroit or any other team that might have been involved at that time.
Right. And Coach already gave Khan a nickname before I could give him one. He gave him the Khan artist.
Yeah.
You saw that, right?
Khan, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Hey, how much longer it's going to be, Rob, before they come up with another nickname and they call him the Wrath of Khan?
Right.
From Star Trek days.
Right. Then they be getting close to us.
There's all kinds of good nicknames they can come up with for him. But what I like is this symbiotic relationship between him and Andy Weddle. I think they both know what their strengths are. They know what their weaknesses are. And it happens to be at this point in time, they're balancing each other out.
You got to add Coach T in that, man.
Well, yes.
Coach T, I'm pretty sure, has a lot to do with the scouting, at least the final part of the scouting, right?
Yeah, I'll give you that. The final part, the decision making, the getting in your opinion there at the end before the pick goes through, certainly. But I do think Coach is one of those guys, Rob, even though he wants his voice to be heard. He will step back and obviously let people do the job that they were hired to do. I wouldn't see him as the kind of person that would really try to step on the toes of the scouting staff.
Right. It would be interesting to see who makes the final decision. Do they come to Coach and say, okay, look, it's between these two guys, right? Coach, which one you like? Right. If you like that one and I like this one, who makes the decision? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially to me, Rob, carrying it just a little step further, is if we're dealing with a defensive player. If you've got a defensive player, then I definitely think Coach gets more input.
Right. One thing I'm gonna say before we get to for our draft picks is we are building from inside out. Whatever Andy Weddle is doing, it's kind of like old school Steelers football coming back to roost.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you see that?
I mean, I definitely think, and I think over these last, Rob, really 4 or 5 years, even when Ben was there, I do think between Coach Tomlin and even Mr. Rooney, and even though that's not the way teams are playing today for the most part, They wanted to get back to the old Steelers identity.
Yeah. And you know what's different about that, Todd? Nobody's doing that. So it's only a few teams that's running the old school pro style, right? Running game, play action pass, close to the vest, playing good defense. A lot of teams ain't doing that.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the draft picks, man. First draft pick in the 2023 draft, we had Broderick Jones, pick 14 in the first round out of Georgia. Athletic guy, was about 6'4", about 315.
Yep.
Can move around. I've seen film where he pull from the left to the right. He's pulling out of the left, going block DBs. So he's an ex-basketball player, so he brings that athleticism with him, right, Todd?
Absolutely. Yes, he does.
And so I'm excited. I don't think the Steelers have ever had, that I can remember in a long time, this type of left tackle.
Yeah, Rob, I tell you what, just because you brought that up, I'm trying to think quickly. I think you got to go back to at least Marvell Smith.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the last time you had somebody with his body type.
Yeah. What now, I see him as a bookend for at least the next 10 years if he can stay healthy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You think he come in right as a starter?
Rob, before the draft, my answer would have been no. I still thought, this is a competition no matter where you're picked at.
Right.
You got to earn the spot.
Yeah.
But just seeing the struggles that Dan Moore had last year, I just don't see why he wouldn't be able to surpass him.
Well, yeah. To me, when you pick a guy in the first round, you move up to get him. That's a no-brainer. He's starting day one, unless he come in and not ready. That's the only way I can see him not starting.
I agree, Rob. For a first round pick, he's just got to really come out and play poorly not to get the nod. I think they're going to give him, every chance to earn that spot. I think Dan Moore is going to have to work extra hard to try to hold that spot down.
I agree. Let's move on, Todd. With the second pick, the first pick in the second round at pick 32, cornerback from Penn State, Joey Porter Jr. You remember that name, Todd?
Absolutely.
His dad was crazy as hell, but you need those type of guys on the team, right?
You do. You have.
Man, I hope his son bring that type of dogism and that type of excitement to the team. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What do you see about him, man? He's long, lean, 6'3", right?
Yeah.
Long reach. It's hard to throw over him. Quarterback's gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? Throwing over this guy.
Absolutely. Again, he fits the mold of what the Steelers are looking for and really have been looking for over the years in that position. Unfortunately, as we all know in Steeler Nation, that has not panned out over a period of time.
Right.
Unfortunately, specifically lastly with Artie Burns. So as much as I appreciate the fact that he is tall and has long arms and is extremely athletic.
Oh yeah.
You still have to find a way to translate that on the field in play.
Right. And one thing that he got in his shoe, we got an excellent older guy that can bring him along. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say, talking about whether or not it's in the plan or not, Rob, once they knew Cam Sutton wasn't coming back I really wonder how high on the list, when they knew they were going to have to dip their toe into free agency, how high on that list was Pat P? Was he really the number one guy they were looking for?
If we would have kept Cam, I can see him probably not getting Pat P, but still getting a young guy in the draft, right?
Right.
When Cam left, that left the hole. So we had to get a veteran guy on that side. We couldn't count on Akelu, and we couldn't count on
Levi Wallace.
So, yeah, I think when Cam left, that opened it up in free agency to go get somebody.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on, Todd. Man, I really like this pick, man. Second round, 49, defensive lineman, Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. Man, all our picks, the first 4 picks were good value picks. They what we needed. For some reason, the board dropped exactly how we needed it to drop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we feel all the spots seem like that were urgent to fill. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Urgent to fill. Keanu Benton, what, 6'5", 330? Right?
Yeah, Rob, maybe a little bit smaller than that, maybe somewhere in the 320, 325 range. But yeah, certainly it's from a size perspective, prototypical nose tackle. But I do think he brings some athleticism that could make him, obviously with some work that Carl Dunbar and the rest of the defense working with him on his technique, I think he can be something more than just a 2-down back.
Yeah. And he provides good pressure in the passing game. He's a dog in the run game, man. Golly, watching film on him, he just wreak havoc online, man.
Yeah, he does a great job against the run.
Great job against the run. So should be looking up against the run, Todd. So you shouldn't be angry no more about the run.
Yeah. Hopefully those guys can not be a sieve like last year and leave those undersized linebackers exposed.
Okay, so we got Jones, Porter, Benton. To me, I see those guys coming in right off and being starters.
Okay.
Do you? Don't say Kate. I want to hear if you wanted to see them as starters or not.
Yes, I think all 3 of those guys are starter capable.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Now, whether or not that happens, I think Keanu Benton's going to be a little bit slower process, Rob.
Yeah.
I think, he'll be in the mix with, DeMarvin Leal, Isaiah Loudermilk,
right,
and Montravius Adams. I think he'll be in that mix, falling in behind Lario and Cam.
Okay, all right. Let's move on, Todd, man. In the 3rd round, with the 93rd pick, the Steelers draft tight end Darnell Washington out of Georgia. I know you was happy for this draft, Todd. Man, all these SEC guys going, they proving a point to you, ain't it?
I don't know about that, Rob. All I can say is I feel very confident that if these guys can stay healthy, which is always a big if, but if they can, I think you'll see the productivity that we are all anticipating this upcoming year.
Well, the thing is, you in the NFL, you always gonna be hurt, Todd. It's the difference between being hurt and injured, right?
Yes, there is a fine line between those two.
In the words of Bill Parcells.
Right.
You can't make the club in the tub.
Yes. So true.
Right. So probably in college too, some of these guys might have been hurt and not injured, but knowing that they're going to the pros, right?
Right.
They're not gonna risk it. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna risk that biscuit on that risk it. If you know what I'm saying.
That's why these guys are not playing in these bowl games now, Rob.
Yeah. That statement, no risk it, no biscuit, only applies in the pros.
Yes. Apparently so.
Coach Yoda T had a laugh on that one, man.
All right.
Man, what you think about Darnell Washington, man? I mean, he reminds me a little bit of Eric Green back in the day. Big booty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big legs, big everywhere, man.
You know, again, Rob, I have to take a closer look at Washington.
Yeah.
A close-up of him. I don't even know, even though he's almost 270 pounds, I don't know if he's even as thick as Eric Green was. Eric Green, I mean, he looked like he would weigh 3 bills, but he could still move. It was really quite amazing that guy could get around the way he could.
Well, you know, Eric Green body disposition was a little bit different, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. No doubt. But
he was thick in the bottom, baby.
Very much so. You know, everything I've seen about Washington is that, I mean, yeah, the guy is an excellent blocker.
Yeah.
So let's just start with that as his baseline, and then work up to getting him involved in some 12 formations, personnel formations, maybe getting him a few short balls a game.
Yeah.
But his main thing is going to be blocking.
Man, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested to see that 12 personnel down on the goal line, man. It looks a lot better with him out there instead of a makeshift tackle on the end of the line, right?
Yes, very much so.
Because you got an actual receiving threat, you know what I mean, that they have to worry about. Right.
You got it.
All right, Todd, we're going to run through the next few real quick so we can go and get them out of here. After that, it was Nasty Nate's little brother, Nick Herbig, round 4 pick, 132 linebacker, Wisconsin. I think in college he played outside linebacker, right, Todd?
He did. Yes, he did.
But it's been talk about moving him inside. It's going to be interesting what we do.
Yeah. You know, obviously it's extremely early. We haven't even hit rookie camp yet. But the outside linebacker coach for the Steelers said that they're going to start him at the outside to begin with.
Okay.
And if necessary, if necessary, move him to the inside, because obviously his frame, his physical statistics don't lend themselves to being a true outside linebacker in the Steelers formation. So we'll just see, you know, maybe I'm going to say this, but don't think I'm comparing the two, but like a Micah Parsons, you don't leave the guy in the same spot. You move him around.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking with this guy's athleticism and quickness, that maybe they could do something with that for him as well, and put him in some kind of a spy position. Yeah. To, you know, try and confuse the offense. But that's a ways off. Just curious to see how he performs in camp and what the coaches have to say about it.
Right. And it's interesting you said that, Todd, because every now and then we run that amoeba defense, I call it.
Yes.
Well, everybody's standing up.
Yep.
Right. And they don't get into position until they get ready to snap the ball. Right.
Right.
I can see that's a good spot for him. Another thing I noticed on film with him, he has good hand fighting skills. He reminds me of Hightower. Hightower had a plethora of moves coming out of college.
Okay.
He's the same way. They got a factory in Wisconsin of outside linebackers that we know, right?
Yes.
And they know how to churn them out. So it'll be interesting. Me, I kind of want him to be able to do anything. Like you said, Michael Parsons, just line him up wherever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can show himself to be reliable, Rob, when that time comes, when the season starts, and he can show that to the coaching staff, then I think they'll give him every opportunity to do that.
Right. He's not as athletic as Micah, but hey, you don't never know until you try, right?
Right.
All right. Let's move on. We had a long time before those picks, all right?
It
132 all the way to 141. That's almost 100 picks.
Yep.
That's 99 picks. We had Corey Trice Jr., 7th round, pick 241, defensive back from Purdue. Man, he's right in line with look like way we changing up the defense to do things. All our corners right now are over 6'2", right? Patrick Peterson, Corey Trice, Joey Porter Jr. Well, Pierre might be about 6'1", right?
Yeah, I was thinking either him or Wallace, one of those two guys might be the smallest guy.
Yeah, but all of them are big. That at least what we're trying to do is get big corners.
Yeah, we're not talking about Deshae, Townsend, or Willie Gay days.
Right. Right.
Those guys weren't even 6 bills. So.
Yeah, and they got cover skills, man-on-man cover skills, and could come up and tackle.
Yes.
Physical guys. Yeah. I don't know much about Trice, but we're going to see when he get into camp. Everybody's saying he was a steal of the draft. I haven't watched him film on him, so I don't, you had to tell me something, Todd.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Rob. Same here as you stated before. I'm an SEC guy, so I can tell you that I maybe watched 20 minutes of Purdue football all season long. And when I did, it was when they were playing one of the big boys, like Michigan or Ohio State. But other than that, I don't spend much time watching Boilermaker football, even though they have definitely dropped some guys into the league the last 2 or 3 years. So, they're providing some decent talent, being in a middling club, I'd say at best, or school in that conference. They are putting some guys in the league. So, got to give them that. But yeah, I want to see the guys on the field first, and then we can, start making some opinions as to whether or not we think they can be productive.
Yeah. All right, Todd. Last draft pick, Spencer Anderson, round 7, pick 251, offensive lineman, Maryland. Where you see him going at? Guard or center or what?
I mean, Rob, based on, because again, never saw the guy play it down. Based on what I'm hearing, it's probably going to be guard, because he doesn't have long arms. He doesn't have a real thick frame.
Right.
So right now, I would say, without knowing much about him, just going by his raw statistics, I would see him as a possible backup guard.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard for him to make the team, man. All these guards we got, he gonna. Yeah. I'm sorry. They might have to try him at center, because otherwise,
I could see him. I would be pleased that my idea of what to do with a 7th round pick, if that guy makes it to the practice squad, and he's there for the year,
right?
I'd be real happy with that.
Okay. All right, Todd. We're gonna let the people get out of here, man. Everybody like and subscribe our page if you like our content. We're gonna be putting more stuff out weekly. We had a little hiccup late last week. We had to do this show this week, right, Todd?
Yes.
And then we're gonna have another show coming out tomorrow for you guys. So like, subscribe. Any comments, you know how to get in touch with us. Rob at stilltalking.com, Todd at stilltalking.com. And until tomorrow, we will see y'all then. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.